This video covers the installation of a Curt trailer hitch on a 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. The hitch will fit both the PHEV and standard models, but there is a wiring difference that we'll cover in a little bit. So again, this is the PHEV model. The hitch was ordered from eTrailer.com. And there was one problem. The box is a fairly thin cardboard and the hitch is heavy steel, so the box would never be able to hold this heavy of a hitch. eTrailer, in the end, provided a $15 reimbursement for paint. It's up to the customer to buy a can of Rust-Oleum to touch up the scratched ears and receiver area. Included in the big box is a smaller box, and this contains both the hardware and the wiring harness. Absolutely, install the wiring harness before installing the hitch itself. Unfortunately, I don't have much to show of the wiring harness because I had already started installing it when I began to make this video. The first step is to pop off this plastic cover for each of the rear tail lights. After the covers are removed, remove each of the two screws on either side. The tail light has to be pulled straight back after the screws are removed. The problem is it seems to be hung up and won't come off. What is holding it is this plastic stud on the side. You have to really pull back hard on the tail light while lightly tapping at the front of the lens to be able to get this off. Trust me, you'll think you're going to break it. The next step is what the instructions called using a fish wire. Less glamorous, I simply used a piece of coat wire to reach down from the tail light area and pull up the wiring harness. The coat hanger is what's shown with the blue oval. The red and yellow comes up on the left side, and notice that I used a piece of string to make sure that that connector did not fall back inside of the bodywork. And on the right side, it's the green wire. Again, just reach down with a piece of coat hanger, pull it up, and you're good to go. The rubber grommet dust seal for the original wire connectors is on the tail light assembly, and it needs to be moved. There's simply too much wiring to put the new harness through the grommet. This means that the grommet needs to be carefully cut with a razor knife and the black tape peeled back. Move the rubber grommet to forward of the connector that comes out of the body and glue it back together with silicone sealer or rubber cement. Then let that dry. The electronic control box can be tie wrapped to the top of the left bumper strut, and the wiring tie wrapped to the cable which goes across from right to left. The kit includes a 10-gauge wire long enough to go to either the front of the car for an internal combustion engine or the back right corner for a hybrid. You can see the splice with the sealant in this photo. Since I don't have an internal combustion engine car, what will be shown next is how to connect for a hybrid that has the battery in the back rear corner. Remove the plastic cover to the right of the jump seat, exposing the battery. Unfasten the hold-down clamp with a 12-meter wrench. Then slide the battery out about as far as it can go. Remove the small clip and the negative battery cable. Look behind the battery and you'll see some wires going down through the floor. The black power wire needs to come up through that grommet from below, and the grommet on the bottom side looks like this. Use a sharp tool and just be careful not to puncture the existing wires. Splice the red wire from the kit and bring that up to the positive post of the battery. Do not put the fuse in yet. At this point, the instructions call for finding a ground point for the control module. The only thing I could find to do was to drill a small 5/16 hole into the bumper strut and use a ring terminal on it. The ring terminal was provided in the kit. After this point, you can bring the wire to the center of the rear bumper and hang it down to where the bumper hitch will be mounted. Time to reinstall the tail lights. Realize that because of the small tight space between the tail light and the body, the connectors have to be pressed flat inboard of the grommet. Reinstall the screws, reinstall the cover panels, and it's time to move on to the hitch itself. The first step is to lower the muffler. To do this, don't let the muffler hang on its own weight. Use some boards underneath it to limit how far it can come down. There are 2 rubber muffler hangers, one at either end of the muffler. Each one of those has 2 bolts and they need to be taken out. Rotate them slightly so you can move the ears of the hitch up past them. I balanced the receiver in the center on the same boards holding the muffler up. At that point, I could bring up the left side and put the 2 1/4-inch ratchet extensions into the blowholes to keep it in place. This was before I put this final bolt in the front. Then I went to the right side, put 2 more ratchet extensions in on the right side. That holds the whole thing up. Finally come back to the first side, and that is when this bolt got put in. The idea at this point is to let the rear of the receiver, the rear of the whole assembly hang down so that you can install the actual trailer connector, the wiring harness, before you raise it up and it gets pinched to the bottom of the car. Attach the bracket to the receiver with the band clamp. Lift the rear of the receiver up so you can pull out the extensions and insert the final bolts. They get torqued to 60 foot-pounds. After that, don't forget to put the 4 bolts into the muffler hangers. And that's the complete installation. Remember to test the pins on the connector for continuity, but they should work just fine.